Hi, everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, you will learn how to create the fur cluster effect. The main points of the course include an explanation of the fur cluster tool and a demonstration of the production of the fur cropping effect. First, let's begin the explanation of the fur cluster tool. The first tool is the first cluster tool. The intensity parameter signifies the degree of fur clustering for each cluster ranging from 0 to. A higher value accentuates the fur cluster effect, creating a sharper shape. Pore density indicates the density of fur clusters, ranging from 0 to 2.5. A smaller pore density leads to fewer fur clusters per unit area. Direction random adjusts the directional randomness for each fur cluster within a range of 0, 1. A higher value introduces more chaotic and irregular directions for fur clusters. Intensity random adjusts the randomness of fur cluster intensity within 0, 1. A higher value results in higher randomness of fur cluster intensity, leading to a more irregular fur cluster effect. The second tool is the length tool. Length random refers to adjusting the randomness of fur after completing the basic length parameter settings. A higher length random value produces more irregular fur lengths. When the length cut value is higher, the length difference cut from the edge to the center becomes greater. In the length cut type, there are two types, average and sharp. The right image shows a comparison of the effects of these two types. Moving on to the second cluster tool. Second cluster builds upon the fur cluster, clustering fur once again. Its relevant concepts are similar to fur cluster, and one can extrapolate accordingly. Concluding with the cropping tool. It creates varying cropping effects. The transform tool can alter the cropping map scale and position. The Levels tool controls the variation in height corresponding to fur in the pattern. Mid, low, and high control different transparency levels in the image. Semi-transparent parts are controlled by mid. Transparent parts are controlled by low. Opaque parts are controlled by high. The explanation of the fur cluster tool has been completed. Following is a demonstration of creating fur cropping effects. Start by importing a reference image. Adjust the position and scale of the reference image. Open the offline render. Preview the current fur rendering effect. It can be observed that the current fur density compared to the reference image is insufficient. Let's increase the fur density value. Re-render to observe the effect. Region rendering can be used to quickly check the effect. It is noticed that the current pore density is too small. We can increase the pore density values for both the first cluster and second cluster. Re-render again. At this point, we can observe that the fur effect is not sharp and straight enough. We can change the trimming type to sharp. Increase the basic fur length slightly. Decrease the fur bend value. Reduce the number of fur segments. Then, re-render to check the effect. Currently, we can see that there is some variance in the top morphology of the fur. You can decrease the intensity of the second cluster. The fur looks pretty close to the reference image now. So let's move on and add the cropping map. Achieve fur cropping effects using different transparency levels in the image. We adjust the levels values and render to check the effect. Now, we can see that the fur cropping effect has been successfully achieved. Next, we adjust the transform values for cropping to align it with the reference image. Finally, render the image. Let's take a direct look at the final rendering result. That's it, guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.